At the beginning of you all's journey back in 1986, did you see yourself still selling out consecutive shows in your third decade together?
We had dreams, just like everybody else does. As far as the venues at the time when we first started out, we didn't know that venues like the venues that we've sold out mega times before even existed back then. We had heard of them, but we had aspirations as selling out, but we didn't think that it was going to come with where we are right now. It was kind of a working process to where that was one of our goals, to be able to sell out venues like Red Rocks, Madison Square Garden, Charlotte venues, Chicago, markets like in San Francisco. So we knew those venues were there, but we didn't want to go at it so quickly that we didn't develop ourselves to where it was more of a prestigious thing back then, for us. And, it was always dreams, but we never did know that those dreams were going to come true.
Okay. All right. Do you feel as though widespread panic had a part in solidifying Athens as a premier music scene in the South as well as around the country?
Well, us and a lot of other bands, B-52s, REM. Originally, I'm from Texas, and I lived in Austin, Texas from 1975 to 86, which is another hotbed of music. And even when I was living in Austin, Texas, the people in Austin, Texas were saying, man, Athens, Georgia, place to go right now. It's a hotbed of music. To be mentioned in the same sentence as REM, the B-52s, and some of the other bands that came out of here, Driving and Crying, Bloodkin, is a compliment to us. So I think it goes without saying that if you're in a serious rock and roll band and you're existing in Athens, Georgia, as long as you pursue it full on, you can pretty much write your own ticket.
Okay. All right. So over the past 25 years, what shows/locations stood out above the others, or what was one of the most memorable experiences for you?
Personally, one of the most moving experience I would have to say was when having some of these artists that we looked up to in our beginning years, people like Carlos Santana, Branford Marsalis, Dr. John, Herbie Hancock. I don't know if I mentioned him already. Some of these artists, Stevie Winwood has graced our stage. So having these people who were our icons, having them come to us and say, hey, I really dig what you guys are doing, can I sit in, would it be cool? Of course, they're always welcome. So those are some of the highlights for me personally. Now, some of the venues would have to be Madison Square Garden, Red Rocks, being able to go to Atlanta, Georgia and play Phillips Arena and have the most sellouts, consecutive sellouts, there at Phillips Arena is a lot. Having a banner put on the rafters at Phillips Arena saying, most consecutive sellouts, widespread panic, along with all the other banners there. And then having the most consecutive sellouts at Red Rocks also is a big accomplishment. So, we've played at some amazing venues. Greek Theater in Oakland, California, another Fox Theater in Oakland. I remember in the early days, our first big obstacle, or our first big goal, was to play the Fox Theater in Atlanta. None of us are from Georgia, but I remember seeing my first show at the Fox Theater, and I was going like, man, what an awesome place! It'd be neat to one day play here. and much less, sell it out, But I remember the first time we played at the Fox Theater, we opened up for a band called Driving and Crying and they're from Athens, Georgia. And it was an awesome night, and it's just one of those things to where you don't forget about, those high points in the career of Widespread Panic.
Awesome. Yes, you. Is it ruffling at all? Is the audio levels ruffling at all? The mic on his chest sounds good. Okay. All right. So, I was informed about the guitar that you all donated and signed at Nucci Space. Tell me a little bit about what you think about that and its proceeds going towards Nucci's.
Well, it's first of all, I know from a kind of a personal end of it, what it means, to lose part of your family as the family did, with Nucci. It's unfortunate. Nucci Space, I think, is a great endeavor. It's an awesome building. I've rented space with my son there during the summer, a couple of summers ago, and to be able to have that outlet of going to rent a space and just jam out, and then just being there in the big room, where they can have live entertainment or they can have private parties. I mean, it's just an awesome outlet, that family started, for the fee that they charge, it's worth it, every cent. So I think it's a great outlet for up and coming musicians or even teenagers, or even kids in elementary school who just want to go and just bang on instruments. It's an awesome outlet, for kids like that.
Okay. Now the guitar, like I'm sure
Excuse me.
It was signed by all of you, and it's being auctioned. The raffles, there are 1,000 raffles, $10 each per ticket, and after 1,000 tickets, there's going to be no more. And from what Bob Sleppy told me from Nucci Space is that the guitar is going to be given out during Friday's performance.
Awesome.
Okay.
How exciting.
And so tell me what you think about that lucky winner. What do you think their thoughts are going to be about receiving this guitar ball, signed by all of you?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm kind of hoping they just look at it as a guitar, and eventually, those names will rub off, but the guitar will still be live. And I hope it goes to someone that really loves to